Most of us are told that as we cross 60, a sluggish gut is just an inevitable part of aging we have to accept. You might reach for those aggressive over-the-counter laxatives, thinking you're doing your body a favor. However, in my 16 years as a family physician, I've seen how these quick fixes often act like a harsh chemical drain cleaner on an old fragile pipe. They might force a result, but they leave your system weaker and more dependent over time. Think of your digestive tract as a vital highway. When traffic stops, the waste doesn't just sit there. It begins to ferment, sending toxins back into your bloodstream and putting a dangerous, silent strain on your heart every single morning. The real price isn't just bloating. It's the slow loss of your independence and the fear of eventually needing help with your most private routines. I've developed a gentle protocol called the Golden Sweep to help you reclaim that control naturally. If you're tired of the battle and want your freedom back, comment "Ready" below. Now, I want to take a moment to address something very personal and often overlooked in our healthcare system. In my years of clinical practice, I've sat with thousands of patients, men and women just like you, who have come to believe that a sluggish, stubborn gut is simply a tax you pay for getting older. We've been conditioned to think that after 60, our bodies are naturally supposed to slow down, break down, and become difficult to manage. But as your doctor, I am here to tell you that this is one of the most dangerous myths in modern medicine. Constipation is not just a nuisance or a minor discomfort that you should learn to live with. It is a silent crisis. When your internal plumbing stops moving, your body isn't just stagnant. It is undergoing a toxic chain reaction that affects your heart, your brain, and your very longevity. I want you to imagine your digestive system not just as a series of tubes, but as a sophisticated waste management facility that operates 24 hours a day. When this system fails to ship out the waste on time, that waste doesn't just sit there quietly. Your colon is warm, dark, and moist. The perfect environment for a process called fermentation. When fecal matter remains trapped for days, it begins to rot and produce gases and organic acids that were never meant to stay inside you. These substances begin to leak through the intestinal lining and enter your bloodstream. This is a process we call auto-intoxication, or literally, self-poisoning. Have you ever had those senior moments where you feel a strange fog over your thoughts, or perhaps you feel a sudden dip in energy in the middle of the afternoon that doesn't seem to have a cause? Many of my patients are surprised to learn that their brain fog and fatigue are actually coming from their gut. When those toxins enter your blood, they can cross the blood-brain barrier, leading to inflammation that clouds your thinking and drains your vitality. Furthermore, this internal toxicity puts your immune system on high alert. Your body begins to fight itself, leading to systemic inflammation that often shows up as unexplained aches in your joints or a general feeling of being run down. If your knees or shoulders hurt more on days when your digestion is slow, that is not a coincidence. That is your body signaling that it is overwhelmed by internal waste. But perhaps the most critical warning I can give you as a physician concerns your heart. This is a conversation we rarely have, yet every American over 60 needs to hear. There is a reason why so many medical emergencies occur in the early morning hours, specifically in the bathroom. When you are constipated and you find yourself straining, what we call the Valsalva maneuver, you are putting an immense, sudden pressure on your cardiovascular system. This straining causes a sharp spike in your blood pressure and a significant strain on your heart's valves. For a heart that has already seen 6 or 7 decades of life, this morning battle can be the tipping point. I have seen too many cases where a patient's heart simply couldn't handle the pressure of an obstructed gut. By ignoring a slow transit time, you aren't just risking discomfort. You are allowing a dangerous cardiovascular trigger to exist in your home every single morning. The goal of our journey today is not to give you a temporary fix. It is to restore the natural flow of your body. When we get the gut moving again, we aren't just clearing the pipes. We are clearing the mind, protecting the heart, and restoring the energy you need to enjoy your life, your hobbies, and your family. We want to move away from the idea of forcing the body and move toward the idea of supporting the body so it can heal itself. This brings us to the solution I have spent years refining for my senior patients, a protocol I call the Golden Sweep. Now you might be wondering why I've chosen such a name. In my clinical experience, the best treatments for the mature body are those that are both powerful and incredibly gentle. Most people, when they feel clogged, reach for those harsh, over-the-counter stimulant laxatives. I call those the bulldozers. They crash through your system, causing painful cramping, urgency, and often leaving you dehydrated and exhausted. For a 70-year-old body, a bulldozer is the last thing you need. Instead, I want you to visualize a golf cart. Think about how a golf cart moves across a pristine green. It is quiet. It is nimble. It doesn't tear up the grass. It navigates the sharp corners and the winding paths of the course with ease and precision. This is exactly how the Golden Sweep works inside your intestinal labyrinth. Your digestive tract is nearly 25 feet of winding, curving roadway. To clear it effectively, you don't need raw force. You need a gentle, firm push that respects the delicate lining of your gut. This protocol is designed to navigate those corners, nooks and crannies, clearing the way without causing a single shudder or shock to your system. The golden in the Golden Sweep refers to two things: the beautiful amber hue of the infusion itself and the golden years of your life that this remedy is designed to protect. When your gut is clean, you feel radiant. You feel light. You feel like the best version of yourself. And we achieve this through a magnificent synergy of two humble yet extraordinary allies, fresh ginger and spearmint. Let's talk about our first ally, ginger. In the world of natural medicine, I view ginger as the ignition switch for the human body. As we age, our gastric juices and digestive enzymes often decrease in production. Ginger contains powerful bioactive compounds called gingerols and shogaols. When you sip this infusion, these compounds act as a warm, stimulating signal to your entire digestive tract. It's like turning the key in a car that has been sitting in the garage all winter. It tells your stomach to start producing the necessary acids and tells your intestines to begin those rhythmic, muscular contractions, peristalsis, that move food along. But unlike chemical stimulants, ginger's heat is biocompatible. It warms the gut from the inside out, improving circulation to the very muscles that have become sluggish over time. It is a firm, encouraging nudge to get back to work. Then we have our second ally, spearmint. If ginger is the ignition, mint is the lubricant and the balm. While ginger is busy getting things moving, mint is there to ensure that the movement is smooth and painless. The active component in mint, menthol, is a natural antispasmodic. This is crucial for seniors because many of us suffer from angry or tight gut muscles that can cause cramping or trapped gas. Mint tells those muscles to relax. It opens up the highway so that the waste, which ginger is pushing along, can glide through without resistance. I often tell my patients to imagine mint as a cooling breeze that follows the warm sun of the ginger. It reduces bloating, calms inflammation in the gut lining, and provides that incredible feeling of internal freshness. Together, ginger and mint form a dynamic duo. They work in a perfect, rhythmic synergy. Ginger provides the motive force, the push, while mint provides the relaxation, the path. This is why the Golden Sweep is so effective for patients even in their 80s and 90s. It doesn't fight against your body. It reminds your body how to function correctly. It respects the wisdom of your anatomy, while providing the specific biochemical signals needed to overcome the slowing effects of time. By choosing this path, you are making a conscious decision to stop the riot self-poisoning and to protect your heart from the unnecessary stress of straining. You are choosing to invest in a morning routine that leaves you feeling lighter, brighter, and more in control of your day. This isn't just a tea, it's a foundational habit for maintaining your independence. In the next section, I am going to show you exactly how to prepare this Golden Sweep in your own kitchen with the precision of a laboratory, because the way you prepare it is just as important as the ingredients themselves. We want to ensure that every drop of those volatile oils and gingerols makes it into your cup and into your system. Your body has been waiting for this kind of respectful scientific support, and I can't wait for you to feel the difference it makes. Now that we understand the profound impact that internal stagnation can have on your heart, your brain, and your overall sense of independence, it is time to move from theory into practice. As a physician, I believe that your kitchen is often the most powerful laboratory you own. However, like any medical protocol, the effectiveness of the golden sweep depends entirely on the precision of its preparation. We aren't just making a cup of tea here. We are extracting specific bioactive compounds, gingerols and menthol, in a way that ensures they reach your digestive tract in their most potent form. If you prepare this incorrectly, you're just drinking flavored water. If you prepare it the way I'm about to show you, you are creating a clinical-grade natural infusion. Let's look at our prescription list. You will need a 1-inch piece of fresh ginger root. Please, ensure it is fresh. The skin should be taut, and the inside should be moist and fibrous. You'll also need 1 tablespoon of fresh mint leaves. In the United States, we are fortunate to have access to fresh herbs in most grocery stores year-round, and I highly recommend using fresh spearmint or peppermint. If you absolutely cannot find fresh leaves, a high-quality organic tea bag will suffice. But we lose some of the volatile oils that are essential for the water slide effect we discussed earlier. Finally, you'll need 8 ounces of filtered water and, if your digestive tract allows for it, a small drop of pure raw honey to help soothe the stomach lining. Let's start with the ginger. Most people reach for a paring knife or a vegetable peeler, but I want you to put those away. Instead, I want you to grab a simple, small spoon. This is a trick I've shared with many of my patients, and it's vital for your health. When you use a knife, you inevitably cut away a significant portion of the meat of the ginger right under the skin. Why does this matter? Because the highest concentration of gingerols, those miraculous compounds that trigger your intestinal waves, is located in the layer directly beneath the skin. By using the edge of a spoon to gently scrape away the thin outer peel, you preserve 100% of the medicinal part of the root. You'll notice that after scraping, the ginger looks moist and alive. That moisture is the essential juice that holds your digestive ignition. When we are over 60, we cannot afford to waste the most potent parts of our natural remedies. Once your ginger is peeled, I want you to slice it into pieces about the thickness of a US quarter. This isn't just for aesthetics. In pharmacology, we talk about surface area for extraction. If you throw a whole chunk of ginger into water, the heat can only reach the outside. But by slicing it into thin, coin-like discs, you create a massive amount of surface area. This allows the hot water to penetrate the fibers and draw out the gingerols and the proteolytic enzymes, like trypsin, which are responsible for breaking down stubborn proteins that may be causing blockages in your small intestine. I want you to see at least 4 or 5 of these ginger coins in your cup. Each one is a tiny engine designed to jumpstart your gut. Next, let's talk about the mint. If you are using fresh leaves, I want you to gently slap them between your palms once before putting them in the cup. This bruising technique releases the aromatic oils, specifically the menthol, before the water even hits them. If you are using a tea bag, because that is what is available, make sure you aren't using stale tea that has been in the pantry for 2 years. Mint oils are volatile, meaning they evaporate over time. For our golden sweep to navigate the intestinal labyrinth effectively, we need those oils to be as fresh as possible to provide that necessary lubrication. This is where most people make their biggest mistake. They boil the water until it's screaming in the kettle, and they pour it directly over the herbs. Stop. Boiling water is 212 degrees, 100 degrees. At that temperature, you aren't infusing, you are scalding. High heat can actually denature the delicate enzymes in the ginger and cause the most therapeutic volatile oils in the mint to flash off, or evaporate instantly. I want you to wait. Once your kettle whistles, let it sit for about 60 to 90 seconds. We are looking for a temperature of approximately 194 degrees, 90 degrees. You'll know it's ready when the water is still steaming, but the aggressive rolling bubbles have stopped. This gentle heat allows for a slow, deep extraction of the gingerols without destroying the chemical structure of the menthol. Think of it like slow cooking a fine meal versus burning it on a high flame. We want to extract the medicine, not kill it. Once you pour that 194-degree labyrinth water over your ginger and mint, you must immediately cover the cup. Use a small saucer, a lid, or even a piece of foil. This is non-negotiable. As the water sits, it creates steam. That steam carries the essential oils of the mint and the heat of the ginger. If the cup is open, those therapeutic gases disappear into your kitchen air. You'll smell them, which is nice, but you won't drink them. When you cover the cup, those oils hit the bottom of the lid, condense, and drip back into the tea. This creates a closed-loop infusion where 100% of the medicine stays in the water. Let it steep for exactly 5 minutes. Not 3, not 10. 5 minutes is the sweet spot where we get maximum gingerol extraction without the tea becoming so spicy or bitter that it irritates a sensitive stomach. Now, let's talk about the timing, because your body operates on a biological clock. I recommend drinking the golden sweep twice a day, once after breakfast and once after dinner. After breakfast is critical because of something called the gastrocolic reflex. When food hits your stomach in the morning, your brain sends a signal to your colon saying, "Make room, new cargo is arriving." By drinking the golden sweep right after your first meal, you are amplifying that natural signal. You're giving your body a warm, ginger-powered nudge just when it's already trying to move. The evening cup is just as important. While you sleep, your body enters a repair and sweep mode. By having this infusion after dinner, you ensure that the ginger and mint are working through your system overnight, preventing that stuck feeling when you wake up the next morning. It prepares the highway for a smooth departure the moment you get out of bed. I often have patients ask me, "Dr. Whitman, it's just ginger and mint. How can it be more effective than the pills I buy at the pharmacy?" To answer that, we have to look at the clinical science of the aging gut. As we cross into our 60s and 70s, our digestive system undergoes 3 major changes. Our production of digestive enzymes drops. Our migrating motor complex, the electrical signals that move food, becomes weaker. Our intestinal lining, the mucosa, becomes thinner and more prone to irritation. Most pharmaceutical laxatives only address one of these issues, often by irritating the lining to force a contraction. The golden sweep, however, addresses all 3 through a beautiful piece of biological engineering. The ginger in our protocol acts on a cellular level. It contains gingerols, which are structurally similar to the compounds our own body uses to signal muscle movement. When ginger enters your small intestine, it stimulates the production of trypsin, a key enzyme that breaks down proteins. Many cases of senior constipation are caused by undigested protein sludge that acts like a clog in a drain. Ginger helps dissolve that sludge, but even more impressively, ginger interacts with serotonin receptors in the gut wall. This triggers what we call peristaltic waves. Imagine a wave in the ocean pushing a piece of driftwood toward the shore. That is exactly what ginger does to the waste in your colon. It's not a violent shove. It's a rhythmic, muscular contraction that guides the waste forward. For a senior patient whose gut has become lazy or sleepy, ginger acts like a gentle alarm clock, reminding the muscles how to work again. While the ginger is providing the push, the mint is providing the path. This is where the menthol comes in. In my clinical training, we learned about calcium channel blockers for heart health. Interestingly, menthol acts as a natural, localized calcium channel blocker for the smooth muscles of your gut. When your gut is strained or stuck, the muscles often go into spasms. This creates those painful cramps and knots you might feel in your lower abdomen. Menthol tells those muscle cells to stop taking in calcium, which causes them to relax. This relaxation widens the pipe. Think of it like this. If you are trying to slide down a water slide at a theme park, and the slide is dry and narrow, you're going to get stuck, and it's going to hurt. Mint turns on the water and widens the slide. It allows the waste, which ginger is pushing, to glide through smoothly. This is the water slide effect. It's the difference between a painful, forced bowel movement and one that feels completely natural and effortless. Finally, we must address the aging mucosa. If you have been constipated for a long time, your intestinal walls are likely inflamed. Using harsh chemical laxatives in this state is like rubbing sandpaper on a sunburn. It might get the job done, but the damage is significant. Both ginger and mint are powerful anti-inflammatories. They don't just clean the gut, they heal the gut while they work. They soothe the irritation, reduce the swelling of the intestinal tissues, and protect the delicate lining. This is why my patients report not just going to the bathroom better, but feeling a general sense of abdominal peace. The bloating disappears, the heaviness in the gut lifts, and the entire system begins to operate with the efficiency of a well-oiled machine. When you follow this precision method, you aren't just treating a symptom, you are respecting the complex, beautiful machinery of your body. You are providing the exact biochemical keys, gingerols and menthol, at the exact right temperature and time to unlock a system that has been stuck for far too long. In the next section, I'll show you why this method is vastly superior and safer than almost every other natural remedy you've heard about, from chamomile to senna. You'll see why the golden sweep truly is the gold standard for senior digestive health. As a physician who has spent nearly 2 decades navigating the complexities of senior health, I've noticed a frustrating trend. When you walk down the supplement aisle of a typical American drugstore like CVS or Walgreens, or when you browse the health section of Amazon, you are bombarded with an overwhelming array of choices. Every bottle and box promises a miracle cure for your digestion. You see colorful labels, hear natural buzzwords, and perhaps you've even tried a few of these based on a recommendation from a friend or a late-night infomercial. However, for a person over 60, choosing the wrong natural remedy isn't just a waste of money. It can be a significant health risk. In my practice, I often spend more time deprescribing or steering patients away from popular but inappropriate remedies than I do recommending new ones. This is why I want to provide you with an expert comparison. We need to look at why the golden sweep of ginger and mint is the superior clinical choice compared to the 5 most common remedies you've likely encountered. Understanding the why behind these differences is what will give you the confidence to take control of your health safely. Let's start with one of the most beloved herbs in America, chamomile. I often call chamomile the warm hug of the herbal world. It is wonderful for anxiety, and it's a staple in many of my patients' bedtime rituals. It contains an antioxidant called apigenin, which binds to certain receptors in your brain that promote sleepiness and reduce stress. If your stomach is knotted up because you were worried about an upcoming family event or a Dr. IS appointment, chamomile will certainly help you feel more relaxed. However, here is the problem. Relaxation does not equal transit. While chamomile is a mild anti-inflammatory and can soothe a sour stomach, it lacks the engine that ginger provides. It does not stimulate the production of digestive enzymes, and it does not trigger the peristaltic waves needed to move waste through 25 feet of tubing. I once had a patient named Margaret, a lovely woman in her late 70s, who was drinking 3 cups of chamomile a day. She felt calm, but she was still only having a bowel movement once every 4 days. She was relaxed, but she was still clogged. Chamomile is a supportive friend, but it is not a worker. For the senior gut, we need a remedy that isn't just a hug, but a push. The golden sweep provides that active drive that chamomile simply cannot offer. Next, we must talk about senna. You'll find this in many popular smooth move teas and over-the-counter laxative pills. Many people think that because it's a leaf, it's safe for daily use. This is a dangerous misconception. Senna contains compounds called anthraquinones. These are what I call the bulldozers. They work by irritating the lining of your colon, causing it to contract violently to expel the irritant. For a 20-year-old, this might just cause some temporary cramping. But for a person over 60, senna carries 2 major risks. First, it can lead to lazy bowel syndrome. If you use senna regularly, your colon actually forgets how to move on its own. It becomes dependent on that chemical irritation to function. I've seen patients who have used senna for years, and their colon walls have become thin and darkened, a condition we call melanosis coli. Second, and more importantly for my American seniors, senna can cause a rapid loss of electrolytes, specifically potassium. If you are on a heart medication, like a diuretic for blood pressure or a medication for atrial fibrillation, a sudden drop in potassium can trigger a dangerous heart arrhythmia. The golden sweep is the polar opposite of senna. It doesn't bulldoze or irritate. It coordinates and stimulates the body's own natural rhythm. It builds strength in your gut rather than creating dependency. Another common ingredient in digestive teas is licorice root. It's sweet, it's soothing, and it's very effective at reducing the symptoms of heartburn. However, as a doctor, I have to issue a stern warning about licorice to anyone over 60. Licorice contains a compound called glycyrrhizin. In significant amounts, this compound can cause your body to hold on to sodium and lose potassium. Why is this a crisis for you? Because it can lead to a sharp, sudden increase in blood pressure and cause fluid retention, edema. Since a huge percentage of Americans over 60 are already managing hypertension or taking water pills, adding licorice to your daily routine is like playing with fire. You might fix your constipation, but end up in the ER with a blood pressure spike. The ginger and mint in our Golden Sweep protocol carry none of these cardiovascular risks. In fact, ginger is often studied for its ability to support healthy circulation, not hinder it. Now, let's talk about fiber, specifically psyllium husk, found in products like Metamucil. Doctors have been telling Americans to eat more fiber for decades, and while fiber is essential, psyllium husk is what I call a conditional ally. It is a bulk-forming laxative, meaning it absorbs water to make the stool larger and softer. Here is the catch. It requires massive amounts of water to work. As we age, our thirst reflex naturally diminishes. Many of my senior patients don't realize they are chronically dehydrated. If you take a tablespoon of psyllium husk, but do not drink at least 16 to 24 ounces of water immediately with it, that fiber doesn't become a soft sponge. It becomes a cement plug. It sits in your gut, absorbs whatever little moisture you have left, and makes the constipation 10 times worse. I have seen patients hospitalized with fecal impaction because they followed the more fiber advice without the more water reality. The Golden Sweep works differently. While hydration is always good, the ginger-mint synergy doesn't rely on bulking to work. It relies on moving and relaxing, which is far safer for those who struggle to drink enough water throughout the day. Finally, many people start their day with hot lemon water. I actually like this habit. It's hydrating and provides a small boost of vitamin C. It can provide a very mild stimulus to the liver. But if you are dealing with chronic, stubborn, senior-level constipation, lemon water is like trying to put out a house fire with a squirt gun. It simply doesn't have the clinical potency of gingerols to trigger a full peristaltic wave, nor does it have the menthol to relax the spasming muscles of the colon. Lemon water is a great maintenance habit, but the Golden Sweep is a remedy. Now that we've cleared up the confusion surrounding common teas and fibers, I want to address a much more modern and, frankly, dangerous trend I see all over the internet: the deep clean, or extreme detox. You may have seen ads for bentonite clay shakes, 7-day colon flushes, or even at-home enema kits and colonic hydrotherapy. These marketing campaigns often use scary language, telling you that you have 20 pounds of old waste stuck to your intestinal walls like old carpet. As a medical doctor, I need to be very clear with you. Your intestines are not a dirty carpet, and they do not need to be scrubbed or flushed with force. These extreme methods are not only scientifically unproven, but they are particularly hazardous for the American senior. Your gut is home to trillions of beneficial bacteria, your microbiome. This internal garden is responsible for your immunity, your mood, and even your heart health. When you undergo an aggressive flush or a colonic, you aren't just washing away toxins, bypassing the body's natural filters. You are literally clear-cutting your internal forest. You are washing away the very bacteria that keep you healthy. For someone in their 20s, the microbiome might bounce back quickly. But for a person over 60, your microbiome is more fragile. Disrupting it can lead to long-term digestive issues, weakened immunity, and even leaky gut. The biggest clinical danger of these deep cleans is what we call an electrolyte crash. Your colon's job is to absorb water and essential minerals like sodium, magnesium, and potassium back into your body. When you use aggressive clays or high-volume flushes, you disrupt this delicate balance. For a senior, an electrolyte imbalance isn't just a minor issue. It can lead to extreme dizziness, confusion, which is often mistaken for dementia, and, in severe cases, kidney failure or heart failure. I recall a patient, Robert, a vibrant 72-year-old who tried a bentonite clay detox he saw online. Within 3 days, he was in my office, feeling so weak he could barely stand. His blood work showed his sodium levels had plummeted because the clay was absorbing everything, including his nutrients and electrolytes. We had to admit him to the hospital to stabilize his system. This is a price no one should have to pay for wanting to feel lighter. The Golden Sweep protocol is built on a completely different philosophy. I call it biological respect. We don't want to force the body or assault the gut with clays and flushes. We want to support the body's own self-regulation. Think of it this way. If a door is stuck, you have 2 choices. You can take a sledgehammer and break the door down. That's the extreme detox or bulldozer approach. You'll get the door open, but now the door is broken and the frame is damaged. Or you can take a little bit of high-quality oil, apply it to the hinges, and gently wiggle the handle. That's the Golden Sweep approach. The door opens smoothly, and it's still in perfect working order for tomorrow. Your body is incredibly wise. It knows how to clean itself. It just needs the right biochemical signals, the warmth of ginger to start the engine, and the coolness of mint to relax the path. By avoiding these extreme trends, you are protecting your kidneys, your heart, and your precious gut bacteria. You are choosing a path of longevity and independence, rather than a path of quick fixes and medical risks. In the final section of our journey, I'm going to share some golden habits, simple, lifestyle-based hacks that, when combined with your daily Golden Sweep infusion, will ensure your gut operates like a Swiss watch for the rest of your life. These are the secrets to truly reclaiming your freedom without ever needing a bulldozer or a sledgehammer again. You've already taken the most important step by choosing the path of science and nature. Now let's make sure those results last forever. While the Golden Sweep infusion is a formidable tool in your health arsenal, as your physician, I must be honest with you. No single remedy, no matter how potent, exists in a vacuum. To achieve that state of digestive peace, where you wake up every morning feeling light, energized, and ready to seize the day, we must look at the foundation upon which that remedy sits. In my clinical practice, I've found that the patients who see the most dramatic, life-changing results, the ones who truly reverse the clock on their gut health, are those who combine the infusion with what I call the golden habits. These are not difficult, boot camp style changes. They are subtle shifts in your daily rhythm that align with the natural wisdom of your body. In the United States, we are a nation of dry people. As we age, our body's water content naturally decreases, and even more importantly, the thirst center in our brain becomes less sensitive. Many of my patients in their 70s tell me, "Dr. Whitman, I don't drink water because I'm simply not thirsty." This is a biological trap. By the time you feel thirsty, you are already profoundly dehydrated on a cellular level. I want you to visualize 2 sponges. One is a brand new wet sponge. It's soft, flexible, and you can easily squeeze it into any shape. The other is a dry sponge that has been sitting under the sink for a month. It's hard, brittle, and if you try to bend it, it might even snap. Your waste, the stool in your colon, behaves exactly like these sponges. Fiber, which we are told to eat more of, is essentially a sponge. If you have plenty of water in your system, that fiber absorbs the moisture, stays soft, and glides through your intestinal labyrinth like a boat on a river. But if you are dehydrated, that fiber becomes a dry sponge. It becomes hard, abrasive, and gets stuck in the corners of your gut. My rule is simple. For every 8-ounce cup of the golden sweep you drink, you must match it with 1 full glass of plain filtered water. Don't wait for the thirst signal. Think of water as the universal lubricant. Without it, the ginger and mint are trying to slide a dry, heavy box across a gravel floor. With it, they are sliding that box across a polished ice rink. We often think of exercise as something we do for our heart or our waistline, but for someone over 60, walking is actually a digestive requirement. I call a simple, brisk 15-minute walk the internal massage. Here is the clinical reason why. Your intestines are not anchored tightly in place. They are suspended in a way that allows them to move. When you walk, the gentle rotation of your hips and the rhythmic contraction of your abdominal muscles act like external hands massaging your gut. This physical movement works in perfect tandem with the ginger in your golden sweep. While the ginger is stimulating the muscles from the inside, your walking is stimulating them from the outside. I once had a patient, a retired engineer named Arthur, who was 74 and struggled with chronic constipation. He was doing everything right with his diet, but he spent most of his day reading or at his computer. I told him, "Arthur, your gut is as stagnant as your chair." We started a simple habit, a 15-minute stroll around the block immediately after lunch. Within a week, his transit time had cut in half. Gravity and movement are free medicine. Don't let your engine sit idle. The human body, and specifically the human gut, is a creature of habit. It loves a schedule. In my office, I often see what I call chaotic gut syndrome, where a patient eats at different times every day and has no morning routine. Your body has a powerful built-in mechanism called the gastrocolic reflex. The moment food or a warm liquid, like the golden sweep, hits your stomach, your brain sends a signal to your colon. Clear the way, new cargo is arriving. This reflex is strongest in the morning. I want you to pick a golden window, ideally 30 minutes after you finish your breakfast and your first cup of the infusion. Go to the bathroom, even if you don't feel a strong urge. Sit quietly, no phone, no newspaper, no stress. By doing this at the same time every day, you are training your nervous system. You are telling your body, this is the time we let go. Within 14 to 21 days of this consistency, your biological clock will take over, and you'll find that your body begins to respond automatically. This is perhaps the most important habit, and the one most often broken in our busy American culture. We are often in the middle of a grocery trip, a phone call, or a favorite TV show when we feel that first nudge from our body. We think, I'll go in 10 minutes. As a doctor, I'm telling you, that is a medical mistake. Your rectum has sophisticated sensors that detect when it's time to evacuate. If you ignore that signal, your body assumes it's not a safe or convenient time, so it pulls the waste back up into the colon to store it. While it sits there, the colon continues to suck water out of it, making it harder, drier, and more difficult to pass later. Even worse, if you ignore the signal repeatedly, those sensors become dulled. It's like a car alarm that goes off so often, you eventually stop hearing it. When your body speaks, you must listen. Treat that signal as an important appointment that cannot be rescheduled. By responding immediately, you are showing your body respect, and it will reward you with a lifetime of regularity. Now, we must move into the most serious part of our discussion. While the golden sweep is natural and generally safer than almost any pharmaceutical alternative, I am a medical doctor, and your safety is my absolute priority. We must discuss the medical guardrails to ensure that this protocol supports your health without interfering with other treatments. If you are one of the millions of Americans over 60 taking an anticoagulant or blood thinner, such as warfarin, Coumadin, Eliquis, Apixaban, or Xarelto, you must listen closely. Ginger is a wonderful spice, but in therapeutic amounts it has a very mild antiplatelet effect, meaning it can slightly thin the blood. For most people, this is a benefit for circulation. However, If you are already taking a powerful medication to prevent clots, perhaps for atrial fibrillation or after a heart valve replacement, the ginger could theoretically amplify the effect of your medication. Does this mean you can't take the golden sweep? Not necessarily. But it does mean you must inform your cardiologist or primary care physician. They may want to monitor your INR, clotting time, more closely, or simply give you the green light based on your specific dosage. In medicine, we never guess, we always verify. Acid reflux, GERD, and hiatal hernias are extremely common as we age. Because ginger has a natural heat to it, some patients find that it can trigger a bit of heartburn if taken on an empty stomach.
If you have a sensitive esophagus, my clinical advice is to never drink the infusion on an empty stomach. Always have it after a meal. The food in your stomach acts as a buffer. Additionally, you can adjust the strength of your sweep. Start with just 2 quarter-sized slices of ginger instead of 4, and see how your body reacts. If you feel a warming sensation in your stomach, that's normal. That's the gingerols working.
But if you feel a burning in your throat, back off the concentration. We want to stimulate your gut, not irritate your esophagus. Finally, I want to discuss the red flags. While constipation is usually a functional issue, meaning the pipes are just slow, sometimes it can be a symptom of a more serious underlying condition that a tea cannot fix. If you experience any of the following, I want you to stop the protocol and call your doctor or visit an urgent care center immediately. Blood in the stool. If you see bright red blood, or more importantly, if your stool looks like black, sticky tar, which can indicate bleeding higher up in the GI tract. Unexplained weight loss. If you are losing weight without trying, your body is telling you something is wrong that requires a diagnostic scan or a colonoscopy. Severe nocturnal pain. If you are woken up in the middle of the night by sharp abdominal pain that is not relieved by passing gas. A sudden change in caliber. If your stool suddenly becomes very thin, like the width of a pencil, and stays that way for more than a week. These are the stop signs. They are rare, but as a responsible physician, I need you to know them. For 95% of you, the golden sweep and these golden habits will be the answer you've been searching for. We have traveled a long way together today. We've unmasked the dangers of the morning battle. We've debunked the myths of the bulldozers, and we've mastered the laboratory precision of the golden sweep. By following this protocol, you aren't just fixing a bathroom problem. You are protecting your heart from the strain of high blood pressure. You are clearing the toxic fog from your brain. You are reclaiming the lightness and energy that allow you to be the active, independent person you deserve to be. I want you to imagine yourself 2 weeks from now. You wake up, you enjoy your coffee or your breakfast, you sip your warm golden sweep, and within 30 minutes, your body simply works. No straining, no pain, no stuck feeling. You walk out of that bathroom feeling empty in the best way possible, light, clean, and ready for your day. That is the freedom I want for you. If you found this clinical guide helpful, please share it with a friend or a family member, perhaps someone like James or Barbara down the street, who might be struggling in silence. And don't forget to join our community here by subscribing. Every week, I bring you more science-backed, natural protocols to help you navigate your senior years with strength and dignity. Go get your ginger, find your fresh mint, and let's start your golden sweep tomorrow morning. Your body is ready to flow again. You just had to give it the right key. I'm Dr. Eric Whitman, to your health and to your independence. The most dangerous risk we've discussed today isn't just temporary discomfort. It's the silent, steady accumulation of internal strain that wears down your heart and clouds your mind every single morning. If you've spent years quietly waiting for relief, or perhaps relying on harsh store-bought fixes, please know it isn't because you were careless. It is simply because no one took the time to explain how your body's internal engine actually functions after 60. The power to reclaim your independence is still in your hands, and by starting this one small ritual, you're already miles ahead of those still struggling in silence. If you are ready to leave that morning battle behind, simply comment, "Ready to flow" below. Staying connected with this community isn't about entertainment. It is about having a doctor in your corner to ensure you never miss these critical early warnings that keep you out of the hospital. Because as vital as your digestion is, there is another silent thief of health, one even more common and harder to spot, that we need to uncover very soon. I tell you this because I have seen too many people discover the truth only when it was much harder to turn back. I'm Dr. Eric Whitman. Take care of yourself.